Well, hey there, WOW friends. It's Adele King in here from the Wellbeing Weekly. This week I've got a 25-minute, it's quite slow and steady. We do a few inversions and a few nicely restorative stretches where we do spend time in the shapes. I don't hurry you through shapes. We spend a lot of our lives out there practicing hurrying, and this is our time to slow down and bring a real depth and quality to our breath, and a depth and quality to our capacity to be really present and open up the lines of communication with our whole selves, because we tend to get really obsessed in thinking mind and, a lot of movement out from the front of the body. And in this practice, I invite you to bring a little bit more dimensionality into it and awaken a little bit more of what's possible in this matrix of the body mind that is you. So it's a specially curated selection of some of my favorite poses, if you like, for that quality of presence. And because of that and the nature of the practice, it's really great for the beginning of your day. So you can cultivate this quality of presence, and presence where you can have more resources and strategies available to you for your day, because it's really what it gives you, this level of presence awareness. And it's really great to unwind from perhaps a particularly challenging day, so you can kind of wipe the windscreen, the dirty windscreen if you like, so you have a nice clear space for the evening and your sleep. So there's actually nothing you need. This quality of presence is just you and your body. Your body is the vehicle for it. Just a nice place to lay out your yoga mat, something that feels comfortable to wear. It's really suitable for beginners because we do go slow and steady, and also suitable for more advanced practitioners to really refine how you show up and what you bring into the equation that is your practice and yourself. So go get yourself sorted and we'll get started. Okay, so first of all, what I'm going to get you to do is just iron out any stress through your feet that may have occurred through your day, particularly by shoving your feet in shoes. Sitting on your shins, take the top of your left foot, the bony ridge, the top of your left foot, there you go, over into the sole of your right foot, and you can just give it a little rub around there, a little massage on in there. And then find a little place you can kind of wedge the top of your left foot into and sit back towards your heels. Now that might be a big ask straight away, so you can titrate it by leaning forwards onto your fingertips as much as you need to. But I do invite you to allow the weight of your pelvis to drop down towards your heels, and eventually come to a point where you can be upright in your spine. And notice if it is quite sensitive there, which I'm quite feeling a lot today in my feet, notice if you tend to do that and resist away from it, and what it would be to just roll the shoulders down, to settle your body weight and your energy down towards the floor, down into gravity. So there's less resistance, and while there is that sensation there, you're not all entangled in it, or you're not fighting against it. The way in which you breathe, how your breath is, will really govern how you receive those sensations there. So as best you can, pour your presence into your breath, the way in which you draw breath in through your nose, and allow the breath to descend all the way down into your feet. And that reciprocal release, your ability to allow the breath to leave again, to then enter again. Inhale fully, and exhale completely. Setting a nice rhythmic metronome for your time on your mat today. Inhale fully, and exhale completely. Good. And walk your hands forwards, lean forwards, roll out through your feet. And then do the opposite. Take the top of your right foot, massage it on into the sole of your left foot. Build a bit of heat there. Acknowledge what's there. Find a little place you can wedge the bony ridge of the top of your right foot into the sole of your left foot. You might shimmy it around a little bit to find a nice sweet, what will likely be a bit of a trigger point in the tissue, some adhesions or some tension there. Often where the pathway of weight and energy can get blocked by you standing upright, working with gravity. And that can often cause numerous challenges in feet and hips and spine. So this is a bit of your medicine. If you spend a lot of time being challenged in those areas. And again, notice how you can allow weight to drop down. And the more you give your weight down into gravity, the requirement in your body, the holding in your body is much less. It's a really great way to shed stress and tension in anything from your day. And we do that through the lens of our breath. Drawing breath in through the nose, filling your body all the way down to your feet, and exhaling all the way back out through your nose. And again, inhale fully. And exhale completely. Again, inhale, fill up top to bottom, side to side, front and back. And exhale, allow the breath to leave. And that ebb and flow. Inhale. And exhale. Good, yogi. Lean forwards, roll out through the feet, and give them a little bat. And tuck your toes. Walk your knees hip distance apart. Keep your hips parked over your knees. Walk your hands out in front of you for Anahata Asana, puppy pose. So there's a breath in the top of the thighs pressing back. Hands out a shoulder width apart. Spread through the fingers. Even look at your hands to clearly establish yourself in your hands. You're nicely there in your feet. Now bring that into your hands as well. So you come into home and more of you. As you release your forehead towards the floor. And allow gravity and a bit of patience and time in this pose to do all the good work. Just tractioning a little bit more space in your spine as you release your torso down towards the floor. And you stay really focused on that nice rhythmic metronome of your breath. It's almost like it's less taking a breath. It's more allowing your body to be breathed. Your joints to oscillate with that breath. Your organs to be massaged by that breath. Your muscles to be toned and released with that breath. Your nerves energized by that breath. Every cell in your body moved, pulsing, enlivened, nourished with breath. And one more just like that, big full breath in. And a long, long breath out. And walk your hands under your shoulders. Come to sit back on your feet with your toes tucked. Stretching through the back of your feet again, interlace your fingers. Inhale, pull your elbows apart. Exhale, round and curl your spine. Inhale, lift your chest up. Front, side and back. Exhale, interlace your fingers behind you. Inhale, lift. And exhale, sit down. Same little sequence. Inhale. Exhale, curl. Inhale, lift. Exhale, interlace your fingers the funny feeling way. Other pinky finger on the outside. Inhale, lift. And exhale, sit down. One more like that. Inhale, pull the wrist apart. Exhale, curl. Inhale, stretch up. Exhale, interlace your fingers. Inhale, baby camel, lift, lift, lift. Then exhale, this time thighs together, sit your hips down, reach your arms out in front of you, child's pose. Stay with that rhythmic breath that you just initiated by syncopating breath with movement. To be enlivened by it, nourished by it, that powerful force. Almost imagine like a river runs through a dry valley and nourishes and sustains everything it meets and greets. Same goes with that powerful force of your breath running through the matrix of your body-mind. You can meet and greet the moment, the phrasing of this breath that is ebbing, flowing, receptive, nourishing. It's awakening a little bit more of you so you have more resources from that state of presence for the moment and what's ahead. Settle in here with that breath. And press into your hands to inhale, look forwards. Establish your breath, your mind, your presence in your hands. Spread through your fingers. Energize your finger pads like you're plugging into energy sockets, and you notice how that starts to firm up the strength in your arms. Walk your knees back a touch. Take a big full breath in, look for as broad in your chest. Keep that breath in your chest. Exhale, tuck your toes, move your belly in, and float your hips up and back, downward facing dog. And you can move here in your down dog, getting any residue fidgeting you need out of the way. It could be walking out your dog. Stay very established in your hands as you do so. It could be inhaling onto the balls of your feet and exhale, dropping your heels to one side to stretch through the side body. Then the other side. Could be taking your feet a bit wider and enjoying a few squats just to mobilize the hip joints. And come to a nice steady dog. Feet in a hip distance apart, second toes pointing forwards. Once more, look towards your hands. Stay clearly established there. Fingertips, base finger knuckles. Frame your forearms towards each other. Look forwards even more, almost like you're doing a cobra, broaden through your chest. Collarbone smiling wide, upper back broad. Keep that lift. Lift into the back of the heart. Then move your hips back. So it's less about getting your head and your chest towards your thighs. There's much more dimensionality here. We are multi-dimensional. We don't move just in one direction from the front. There's a lot to be had in the back. A lot of support there. Intelligence and agency there. So breathe to that. Bring your whole self into the equation of this moment. Fed and nourished by this breath. Good. And keeping your head lower than your heart, step one of your feet forward. So I'm stepping the left foot forward so I can turn around towards you. So you can move around to the long edge of your mat in a wide-legged forward fold. Look at your feet. Feet are nice and wide. Outer edges of the feet parallel with the short edges of your mat. Fingertips underneath your shoulders. Stay really firm in your legs. Inhale, halfway lift. Fill up your breath into the back of your body. And exhale and fold. And again, inhale, lift up, almost like the back of the lungs billow you up, like a sail. And exhale, bow. One more like that. Inhale, lift. And exhale, fold. You can stay in your folds, or you can stay in that flow. You could reach your arms back behind you. Or you could take your hands to your ankles or your peace fingers to your big toes. You can nod your head, shake your head. This pose is like a blank canvas for you to fill in the details and colour in with your breath. Your level of presence awareness, of really arriving here, being here in this body, multi-dimensional. You can use that nourishing warmth of your breath to defrost, if you like, any residue, tension or drama or worry, any soreness, any stiffness. Noticing how you can meet and greet the sensations or the thoughts or the emotions in your body through this easeful rhythm of your breath, with the ebb and flow, the breath entering and leaving. The sensations, the thoughts, the emotions can be that mobile too, entering and leaving. The moment you try to control the breath or control the sensation or the moment, you prevent that entering and leaving. That's when we become stuck, stagnant. That's when there's dis-ease in the body. So notice any of those tendencies. And perhaps you just come back to a touch more movement, not to distract yourself, but to remember. You could take a little twist. You could drape your belly to one leg and then to the other, because movement is what hydrates cellular tissue, opens the joints, brings us into that remembrance of the ebb and the flow, the entering and the leaving, the powerful and the subtle. Here you go. One more breath. And then keep your head lower than your heart. Pivot your way back around towards the top of your mat. Step back down dog. Allow your breath to guide movement here, where the opening is, what feels harmonious and flowing, what feels sticky or stuck. Meeting what's there through the phrasing of your breath, the meter of your breath, the texture, the tone. Just going to pivot around to face you. And on your next exhale, slide your right shin forwards. So I'll mirror you. Take your right knee to your outer right wrist. So the thigh bone and the shin bones on a diagonal, right foot to the left hip. Look around, make that left leg alive, press into the top of the left foot. Take your fingertips out wide, take a big full breath in, particularly in the back of your body, so your lungs become like life vests to lift you up. Stay here as you exhale, settle into your legs. And again, inhale. And exhale. And one more full breath in. And exhale. Walk your hands forwards. You can come onto your forearms. You could come to a full pranam. A variation I quite like is staying on your right forearm. Take your left hand around to the outside of your right knee. There's a little bit of dynamic action here to bring some balance into it. So what you're going to do is cup your right knee and try and drag your right knee towards the center of your mat with your left hand. But then also resist that. Press your right knee into your left hand out to the side of your mat. It might take you to a new interesting place around your right hip, around underneath the glute. A new place of awakening. Bring a little bit more sustenance in there with your breath. Focus on that rhythm, the texture, the tone, the phrasing of your breath. Filling your entire body, your entire being polished with that breath. Your whole self here with that breath. And place both hands under your shoulders again. Tuck your back foot, lift your back knee. Lift your breath up into the skin of the back of your body. Float up and back. Inhale, down dog. Look at your hands, breathe through your fingers. Now lift into the back of your heart. Slide your heart forwards. Keep that lift and that momentum. Even as you exhale, settle back into your hips. And take your left knee to your outer left wrist, so all the way to the edge of your mat. Thigh on a diagonal, foot alive in front of the right hip. Come up onto your fingertips. Big inhale, particularly into the back of your body, so there's a lift and a buoyancy. And exhale, settle a little bit deeper perhaps. And inhale. And exhale. Notice how the breath animates and enlivens. It moves you. Here's an inhale. And an exhale. Good. Again, inhale. Be moved by that. As you exhale, fold forwards, forearms or full pranam with your arms outstretched. And the variation that I offered on the first side. Left forearm down, take your right hand to the outside of your left knee. Balanced action here of trying to hug the knee in towards the center of your mat, but also press your knee into your hand away from the center of the mat. And breathe to that. And not only breathe to that in a localized way, start to breathe like we have been doing in a more global way as well. Breath ebbing and flowing, entering and leaving. The powerful inhale, the subtle exhale. The top of you, the bottom of you, the sides, the front, the back. Present in your whole self. And when you have that quality of breath and that quality of presence, you have much more resources and strategies and how you meet and greet the moment, how you move, how you relate. That breath mobilizing you. More of you. Good. One more breath, just like that. You're doing awesome. Walk your hands under your shoulders. Tuck your back foot, lift your back knee, lift your hips, up and back, down dog. I know it's not easy to move in this slow, steady, unhurried way. I know it's not easy to not move quickly and try and do something really strong and powerful to extract something from it. It's less about what we get here, less about the results. And your down dog, even here, it's about the how of your breath. The quality of breath, the quality of your presence. Just inquiring and sensing and feeling rather than demanding a result. Results often leap us into the future or take us back into the past where we didn't get what we wanted or what we'd hoped or what we think it should be. So much more present, much more us. Come back down onto your knees. Spin yourself around. Line your back. As you present yourself to this new shape with your legs bent, feet flat on the floor. Soften and spread the skin of your back to meet the earth. New shape, feel the shape, fill the shape. Fill the shape with your breath, your presence. Colour it in, fill in the details for you. What's here, what's possible. I'm going to suggest a mini back bend. You could press down into your forearms, your elbows, sorry, not your forearms, your upper arms, your elbows, your shoulders. Notice how your chest can lift. You can press into your feet and take a bridge pose. If you want something stronger, wheel is in your practice. We haven't really opened up specific areas for wheel. But if you want to colour in a few possibilities with something like wheel, you could go there. Maybe it's back down to bridge. We're on bridge all along. And all the way down. Soles of your feet together, knees wide. Settle your arms down. Feel the shape. Feel the shape with your breath. Feel the shape with you. All of you, your whole self. Present, alive. Marinating in that pulse, the beat, the rhythm, the texture, the tone. This multi-dimensional, colourful picture of you. Enlivened. Here. Consider how you could take this quality of presence into the rest of your day or the rest of your week, considering perhaps an area of your life where you don't have this quality of presence, where you're not bringing your whole self into the equation. And what would it look like? What would it feel like? If you will, more present there. Could be a relationship or a situation. Bring this quality of presence to it. Bring you to it. And this is where I'll leave you. You can take a few more stretches. You can take Shavasana. You could take a seated meditation. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being you. Namaste.